Today's video tutorial is of two parts. In part 1, I'll show you a simple way to create long-lasting condensation and droplets on glasses that can be used for long photo shooting sessions. In part 2, I'll go through the layout of the lighting setup using 5 different sources of lights. But first, and to make the condensation and the water droplets, we need acrylic varnish and also sugar syrup that has been diluted in a bit of warm water to make it more liquidish and put in a sprayer to be used later on. Now, how to make that condensation and water droplets? We take a glass that has been thoroughly cleaned and all the fingerprints and the dust has been taken out from, and we spray it with on the outside surface of the glass. We spray it with the varnish, acrylic varnish on all sides. It's very important to use acrylic varnish because it helps form a clearer and better droplets on the glass surface itself, and it helps the sugar syrup when it dries to remain crystal clear without any distortion in the droplets or in the condensation that comes from. It takes about 30 seconds to dry completely, and once it is dry, what we will need is that sugar syrup that we have prepared, as I said, with some more water. Okay, and then just we spray also the outside surface of the glass. Just a second. There you go. So, for this sugar syrup to dry, it takes maybe 30 minutes. And once it's dry, you will see the formation of that condensation and beautiful droplets.
Now in part 2, I'll go through the layout of the lighting setup using 5 different sources of light. I'm using a combination between flash guns and studio lights with softbox. Also, the layout has been developed with a top view to understand better the distribution of each light. The first element of the layout is the table on which we put our subject that we want to shoot. The surface of the table can be of any texture, color, reflective, non-reflective, depending on the photographer's own taste or the subject that is being shot. The second element is the subject itself. It's placed on top of the table, in the middle of it, and in front of it our cam with the distance depending on the lens that we're using. Behind the subject we have a background board, and it can be also of any color depending on the photographer's own taste. But always remember it should be of a matte color, not a reflective one. Now the first source of light is a large studio light octagon softbox, and we place it on the right side of the subject. The second source of light is a studio light medium rectangular softbox placed on the left side of the subject. For the third light, I'm using a flash gun placed behind the subject with a 45-degree angle for backlighting the subject and the liquid inside the glass. The fourth light I'm using is a flash gun placed behind the subject on a lower level to light the background placed also in the frame. The last light I'm using, the fifth one, is a flash gun placed on my camera in front of my subject, directed with a 45-degree over the subject itself and also covered with a diffuser, so I can bring a gentle lighting in front of the subject. Each light power in this setup is different from the other. For instance, for the shooting, I've set the second light at 2/3 of the main light power. The third light, I've set it on half of the main light power. The fourth, I've set it on 2/3 of the main light power. And the fifth is on 2/3 of the main light power.